And then I really liked the part with Burt Lancaster. I thought his character was kind of neat. Doc Graham.
And having his chance to play again, and it's just a really magical film.
And the modern day, they still do have a modern day Field of Dreams in Iowa. I believe you can go visit. So
that's cool.
It is pretty neat.
And just again, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and that was Ray Liotta in that, and just.
And Liotta was actually right-handed, learned how to throw left-handed to be in the movie, and portrays it very well.
Yeah, no, and it's.
They had a great reference because everyone was asking, "Where's Ty Cobb?" We all hated the SOB.
And it's just and James Earl Jones really is just great because Kevin Costner has to go on this mission to find him, and he's just like, "Go back to the '60s, go back to the '60s." But yeah, it's a really special film. It really is.
If you build it, they will come. It's got to be one of the all-time great movie lines.
It is.
I mean, you can use it pretty much for any story at the Conway Daily Sun.
And then you have the skeptical brother-in-law who's just like, "What are you doing? Why you just You got
to sell the field, Ray. You can't. You're in financial debt, Ray. You got to get rid of the field."
But then it's just and it's also about family, and because you have Amy Madigan as his wife who just doesn't get it. But just stays by her husband until all of a sudden she sees it too, and it's just a very magical film. And
it's the powerful dad you want to have a catch at the end, which is very good.
When it's the ending of that movie, it's just like. It will make the most hardened, man just turn into like a sobbing baby. Like
just feel you're waiting for the ushers to walk down through the movie theater. Tissue?
Yeah. The ending of that is just it just connects and just gets at to the heart of what makes baseball so great, or any sport.
I think it all takes you back to your childhood.
Yeah.
You just bring back a rush of childhood memories. You remember your first game, your first glove, your first Little League parade if you're here in the Mount Washington Valley. That's coming up. So lots of good memories for folks.
And I think it's also a movie that even if you don't like baseball, it just has such a broad appeal. Because it really isn't. Baseball is there, but there's so much other stuff going on that.
And if you like James Earl Jones or Kevin Costner, this movie is right up your alley.
Yeah.
You don't have to love baseball. You just like those two.
It's just a great movie. It really is. So it's another one for you.
League of Their Own. Really, really enjoyed that movie. And that was like my all-time favorite for the longest of time, just because not only was it well acted, and Penny Marshall did a great job directing it, but it was just a neat story about the Women's Baseball League, how it came to be during the wartime, and I truly didn't know that story until I saw the movie, and it was just neat.
Yeah, no, it was kind of one of those forgotten stories, and they did tweak certain things.
Yeah.
The character played by Gina Davis, she was inspired by someone who actually wasn't this older woman.
Oh, really?
Not that she was that old, but she was kind of one of the older players, and she didn't actually leave after the first season. She stayed on for like 5 years because the women's league actually lasted for a long time. Even after the men came back, there was still the women's league for a while, and then eventually it got cut. But it is just kind of this forgotten story of baseball, and it's really interesting and good cast. Probably one of the few examples Madonna actually being good in the movie.
Arguably her best movie of all time.
And Rosie O'Donnell was very good. Rosie O'Donnell gets a lot of flack, but she was very good in this movie.
Yeah, she was kind of the straight person to All the Way May, Madonna's character, who was the funny one.
Yeah, and then it was they make it this sister story between Gina Davis and Lori Petty. And they're kind of the heart of the movie. John Lovitz as the scout is it's just so funny, especially when he's like picking up the two sisters who work at a farm and they're milking cows, and he's just like, okay, whatever, And he only wanted Gina Davis, but then he
took Kid along just because that was the only way he was going to get Gina.
Yeah, and then he realizes that she's got a good arm because of the milking.
And then Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is just, it was kind of a point in his career where he wasn't doing so well, and that movie was kind of like a shot in his career again, because he was just so funny.
He was, and just to see him out there playing the drunken manager and just mouthful of tobacco and just spitting all over himself, he played the part very well.
And one of my favorite scenes is when he's coming back hungover, and he's just taking a pee, and it just goes on, and then forever. It's like, wait, oh, it's still going. I think we're going for a record here, and it's just so funny.
He's a riot, and then he delivers the line of the movie.
Yeah, the line of the movie. It's like, we'll probably just cut to it. Just cut to the line, because he says it better than
everyone knows it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Why don't you leave her alone, Jimmy?
Oh, you zip it, Doris. Rogers Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking violent. And that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry? No. And you know why?
No.
Because there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. No crying.
What's the matter, Jimmy?
What? She's crying, sir.
And I think everyone uses that line. It's just, there's no crying in journalism. That's
yeah. It's just a great movie about a time of baseball that people don't really know much about.
Right.
And David Strathern, who was also an 8-Man Out, he's also in there.
Another good ensemble cast again. I don't know what it cost to make, but Penny Marshall really found a niche there.
Yeah, no, it was a great ensemble cast, and that was I think that's kind of the key to all of these baseball movies. It's great, going to 8-Man Out, Major League. It's a great ensemble cast.
Yeah, Bull Durham, you probably have just the 3 central characters, but other than that,
it's just about the central casting. It's good movies.
And then with your speaking of an ensemble cast, your other movie.
Yeah, my last movie is The Sandlot.
What a movie.
What a movie. And it's kind of a different kind of baseball movie, because it isn't about the big game or because there are a lot of baseball movies for kids. Bad News Bears, Rookie of the Year, some of the movies that were mentioned. Angels in the Outfield. And this isn't about these kids trying to go to win the Little League game or something like that. It's about kids playing in a sandlot. And the great central plot is you have this kid who doesn't know how to play baseball, and he steals his father's Baby Ruth. some girl named Baby signed it.
Baby Ruth's autograph.
And so he hits it over the fence, and you have this dog, the Beast.
The Beast.
And they go through all these elaborate schemes to try to get the ball back from the Beast, and it's just
they're afraid of the owner of the house, and
who winds up being James Earl Jones again. It's kind of funny. All these movies, they're
intertwined.
They're intertwined. They're all connected, and it's just a different kind of movie, and you get a real sense of what it's like to be a kid. It's set in the 50s. Not that I was there in the 50s.
Nor I, but you see the friendships, and they just have those bonds. And
like there's the day they go to the swimming pool, and you have the Squints, who comes up with an elaborate scheme to get to kiss the lifeguard. And it's a great movie just about being a kid, and it's a kid's movie, but it really has broad appeal.
Another great family movie. There's just I don't think there's a curse word in the movie. I think it's just,
I mean, if there is, it's real minor.
Yeah, very minor, and just a good family movie, and I think you just feel good about it after you watch it.
Yeah, and you have a Dennis Leary as the father, who's just a small role, but he plays it well, and Karen Allen as the mother. Again, small roles, because the parents are really incidental in this. It's really just focused on the kids, and it's a fun movie. It's a good movie.
It's almost like Stand By Me on a baseball field.
Yeah, kind of. Without the dead body.
Without the dead body. Yeah.
It's the same time period. Even it's a good one. That's a good comparison. It's the same time period. You kind of have the same kind of voiceover narration going with it, and it's a nostalgia film, and there were sequels made. There were direct to video, same writer, same director, but somehow
lost it.
Just didn't capture the magic. I mean, sometimes it just happens that you have these filmmakers who've got just one really good movie in them, and that's it. and I think that was the case with The Sandlot.
I think you hit it right on the head, Alec.
And
Hit it out of the park.
Yeah, hit it out of the park. And I guess there's, I think there's one other film I kind of want to mention. Not that it's either on either of our lists, but it's kind of the Kevin Costner trilogy of baseball movies. The two that we've already discussed, Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, everyone knows those. But he did another one called For Love of the Game.
That's an enjoyable movie.
It's an enjoyable movie, and it's not quite as iconic or as good as his other two baseball movies. But it's a good film because it's about.
It's almost like the David Cohn story, or the David Cohn with the New York Yankees winding down his career. He's in the twilight. He just doesn't know how long the arm's going to hold up because he's supposed to have surgery, and this is his last hurrah, and he's pitching the perfect game.
The perfect game, yeah. And you have the great dynamic, and it's something that's also in Bull Durham, but the great dynamic between the pitcher and the catcher. And John C. Reilly's the catcher, and they have a real good. My favorite moment is when he gives a certain gesture, gives the middle finger, because it's just like, yeah, I like that, that's good. I'll give him that.
It has a wonderful line in there from Vince Scully. He talks about the character Kevin Costner, who's known as Billy Chappell, who's playing for the Detroit Tigers, and he says he isn't pitching against the Yankees, he's pitching against time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ooh, good line.
The only thing I think flaws the movie a little bit is that it cuts back and forth with his love life and his relationship with his girlfriend, and I think it detracts a little bit, and I really wish it had just focused on the game more. And the other thing that's great about it is that it really captures the idea of the team coming around the pitcher, because in the later innings his arm is just jello.
Yeah.
But you have the team who's just been having a terrible season all season, and they're just like, we have to save this game for him. And so I think that's a really nice touch to show how a team can come around a player to try to help him.
I think it's good, and plus you get the intrigue of the perfect game, and no one wants to talk to him or get him nervous, and it's just, it's another good, enjoyable family movie. I think it's not one of those just guy movies. It's a good romantic movie.
Yeah. And another thing I like about it, it's a nice touch, is where he turns off everything. He just turns the sound down. That was he just has a way to feel like turn it down, and I think it was the Kevin Costner baseball trilogy.
I know.
It's good. There's something about baseball and Kevin Costner is just a good fit.
It's a good rainy weekend, Kevin Costner fest or something. Just don't throw in Waterworld.
Yeah, no, not what now. I don't hate Waterworld, but it's definitely
it's out there.
It's out there.
It's way out there.
Yeah, and then he did The Postman, which is even more out there.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I guess that's it, really.
Naked Gun, another great baseball movie.
Naked Gun, yeah. Oh yeah. Leslie
Nielsen is the umpire, and that's some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see.
Yeah, because he just gets so into you're out of here.
He starts moonwalking when he's calling a strike. Is just not a classic baseball movie, but a great baseball scene.
Yeah, and so yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Because we could keep talking about baseball movies over and over and over again.
I think we can. I mean, it just goes back to like the pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees, or Abbott and Costello. I'm wearing my Abbott and Costello jersey.
That's an all-time classic.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. And I don't give a darn. Oh, he's our shortstop.
What a great skit. Way ahead of its time.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. You can find us online. You can find us on Twitter at I Am Lost in Movies, or on Facebook at facebook.com/LostInMovies. You can look for us on YouTube, iTunes. We're everywhere. We're everywhere on the internet. So yeah, come back in a couple weeks and get lost in movies again.